Hey, Aquarius, Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here, excited to bring in your December 2025 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the final month of 2025 has in store for you. What you don't see coming. Bottom of the deck, we have timing. All right, this is divine timing at play. I have a feeling something is happening behind the scenes that you don't quite understand, or you're not sure where this is going just yet. But I see that your patience will pay off. Your trust in the unknown, Aquarius, will pay off. Bottom of the deck, we have here the Queen of Swords. So when the Queen of Swords shows up, she is a self-reliant queen who is intellectual. She's independent. She's incredibly confident, and she can cut through emotional haze with that logic. And I see that's what you're doing this month. It feels like you are not letting your worst case scenarios get the best of you. At least that's what Spirit is guiding you to pay attention to, those thoughts of yours, because otherwise we can find ourselves in a little bit of a loop. We can get into a perfectionism loop, which is what the Queen of Swords sometimes can embody, is perfectionism, but also she can be overly critical of herself or of others, very judgmental. And I see that you are wanting to escape that loop, whether that is a loop that's playing out within your own mind, or perhaps it's someone around you. And it feels like you've had to persevere in some way. Oh, Spirit is saying your nervous system has been hardwired for survival. And it could be those old stories that have been continuously replaying out, and stepping into 2026, you're freeing yourself. All right. And it's not happening overnight. It's already occurring within you. And I see that you're catching yourself when you start to go down the rabbit hole. You're catching yourself when you are starting to feel a bit of anxiety, and you are finding ways to soothe and calm your nervous system. Whether this is through somatic healing, perhaps it's spending time with your family, your children, your loved ones, because family is part of your energy this month in a very, very big way. And many of you have been working on healing from ancestral patterns that have played out maybe from very early on in your life. I see that you are creating a new sense of stability. You're finding calm amidst the chaos that you may have endured in the past. And there may have even been some troubling energies around parents or around children, maybe a challenging force. I do see the devil, I see the moon, and that can be a lot of illusion, a lot of misconceptions where there was an entanglement, like the truth wasn't fully being illuminated. There may have even been family secrets, or it felt like someone wasn't fully being honest and you felt betrayed. But I see that you have people in your corner, Aquarius, and you are also making space for new support systems to make their way into your world. And you are someone who is very loving, you're very kind, but you also tend to detach when that devil or that moon shows up. And if you're feeling a little bit crazy at times, because the moon, I like to think of the moon as the space between madness and genius. You've heard of the saying lunatic around the moon, right? Everybody becomes crazy. And it is because we can let those shadows overwhelm us where it drives us crazy. And the message I'm getting here for you is these things are coming up into your life for you to take a look at, to dispel your anxiety here so you can free yourself from the devil. And it may have required some deep inner reflection, shadow work, inner child healing, therapy, coaching, to really take a look at what stability means for you and why some patterns have replayed out. Next, you have healing. A lot of you are healers based on what you have gone through. You're able to empathize. You're able to put yourself in other people's shoes because you have had a past where you've had to find your way back to your soul self. You may have gone through a severe health issue. Some of you may have came from an alcoholic family, or perhaps you have had to break out of patterns that have limited you. I see that you are a healer and you may be using this energy to create legacy that ripples out into future generations, including the people that you work with, your clients, your patients, your coworkers, or even your own family members or children if you have them. I feel like you are leaving behind a legacy, but you're still here. You're still here on earth, which means you're actively participating in your own legend right here, right now. And with healing coming in here, you've gone through some sort of loss, but I also see that this is a period of closure for you. We're closing out 2025 and moving into a brand new year, which Aquarius season kicks off in January. And 2026 is a 1 vibration, which is all about new beginnings and new invitations, new arrivals. Someone could even be pregnant and there may be an arrival of a child, or there could be families combining, families uniting, or even new pets or animals joining the family as well. So I see support here after a period of perhaps grief or a little bit of that heaviness. For some of you, it was around health issues, mental health, physical health, emotional health. There's been some ups and downs. And you may have even had to caretake for an elderly parent or a sick child or even someone with special needs. And I see that this is your time to really soak up the love and support that's available that you so freely give out to others, Aquarius. And you've learned a lot about yourself and you may be putting what you've learned to paper and helping other people through your classes, through your workshops, seminars, maybe even writing a book. Some of you could be writing a memoir, or you may be called to enhance your own skills. Perhaps you're curious about a certain subject and you want to learn more about it. You could be taking a traditional class, maybe at a local college, maybe you're going back and getting a degree, or you could be signing up for that tarot class that you've been wanting to take, or that writing class, or yoga. I feel like education is highlighted because you are meant to connect with this energy and explore the paths that are available to you. I also see for those of you that may have started a class in the past, but maybe you put it on the back burner. It may have been like at your own pace. It may be something that you start up again. Or it could even be an old project or an old creative endeavor that you put on the back burner and you bring it back to life. There's this renewed sense of determination, but also renewed insights coming in where your work is even more powerful than it was prior because you have this newfound wisdom and you're not letting the limitations of the devil come in and kind of cramp your jam here. I feel like you're not letting external noise steal your thunder like perhaps it has in the past. It feels like the timing is right for you to start incorporating or thinking about this, even if it's something that shows up in the beginning of the year. And some of you, you may even be getting extending credits. So for example, if you are a massage therapist or a nurse or a real estate agent, you may have to get continuing, ed credits to keep your certification. I feel like some of you could be taking an exam and it feels stressful, but don't let your nerves get the best of you. Make sure you're doing your studying and your planning. I feel like you'll be just fine, but you may also be re-examining your choices and saying, is this even the path that I want to go in? Sometimes this can be doing your research and looking up online, perhaps new companies that you want to work for, or taking your goods and services and putting them out there into the world on a new platform, or even connecting with other individuals in some way. Some of you could be joining with a family member. Maybe you and a family member are wanting to sell your t-shirts on Etsy, right? Or perhaps you are taking your healing skills and working in a suite, with other individuals who are also in the holistic field. It feels like there's support systems around you at this time. Now, timing at the bottom of the deck, right? This is divine timing, but it's also about planning. And Aquarius, I feel like you've been in this planning stage, or you are planning things out at this time because you want to move into the new year, new you, right? New age. For those of you that are celebrating another trip around the sun coming up. So it feels expansive for you. And you may even be writing down a list. I'm seeing a list, and no, it's not being checked twice. I mean, it could certainly be a Christmas list, but it feels like this is more of either an intention list or an alignment list. Maybe it's a bucket list. You may benefit from journaling or writing this month as well. And that could also help you gain clarity on what's been working in your life, or what has helped in 2025, and what you would like to reshape or completely throw out altogether. And so I feel like you're using your skill of communication and writing to help you maybe even work with time management or prioritizing, your time or your schedule. I see that some of you are being guided to manage your time and resources, so you don't feel like a chicken with your head cut off running around everywhere here, having a million different things to do this month. But getting organized and planning can help you bring in more family time, and to help you also feel like you can stay more present with whatever activity or event or project or work thing that you're focused on. You can be more present on focusing directly on that instead of feeling a bit scattered. So moving into your tarot, we have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles showing up here is financial hardship. It can be a loss of a job. It can be debt. It could be bills accumulating. It can also be a health issue. And I see that you have either been humbled in some way, right? You've had this awakening, or you are guided to help other people that may be going through hard times as well. And five is all about perseverance here. The Five of Pentacles is change. And I feel like what's changing for you is this material or practical matter that you have felt stressed out about, or you have felt like, when is the time going to come? Like, when am I going to finally see results on this? Or when am I going to start to feel better after this surgery? Or, Mel, I've done all of the work here. When am I going to finally move forward in my creative endeavors? So it feels like there's been a little bit of frustration around this, Aquarius. But the Five of Pentacles is also saying there's a very humbling experience, and you'll be able to help others in some way, teach others, or maybe take a course of learning that could help you enhance your skills to build that business, or to make money, or to learn, do some research around health, alternative health here, maybe talking to a functional, medicine doctor, or looking into muscle testing, maybe getting your gut checked out. Gut health is calling out at this time. So I see that many of you have been in this state of survival in the physical world, and your nervous system feels at times like it's exhausted, right? Adrenal fatigue. And I feel like this is the turning point here. This is what you are wanting to release moving into the new year, because you have here the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is showing up intuitively in a sideways position, which is saying this has been repetitive in your life, or there's been a level of stagnation or even blame, right? Sometimes we blame other people, other situations, or we blame ourselves. And this isn't about getting caught in the blame game or pointing fingers. It's about accountability and saying, wait a second, what have I been putting up with? Or what have I been continuing doing, but expecting different results? And I see forgiveness here. And with this Eight of Swords, sometimes we're unable to see a way out. We feel trapped. We feel restricted, maybe even physically handicapped, or we're not able to do something that we once were. That can be That can be very challenging, very difficult. You may have even dealt with someone, I think I mentioned earlier, someone who was handicapped in some sort of way or had some special needs or abilities, and you felt confined to it, and you may have even lost finances here. And there could be some sort of financial assistance or help that comes in, and when you least expect it or when you need it most. But I do see here something very powerful taking shape within your mind, within your nervous system, within your body. And what I see here is that you're working through these intense fears. You're working through the intensity of those doubts of yours and those insecurities, so you don't sit in that repetitive pattern day in and day out. And you are expanding your perspective here, because oftentimes this has to do with the element of the mind, which you are connected to the mind, being a sword yourself. And I see that there is this intellect and the power of the mind that you are tapping into that is shifting and changing your world, your reality in big ways, because you also have another 8 coming in here, Aquarius. You have the 8 of Wands. Now 8 is the infinity symbol, right? Where we can continue to go in loops, just like that infinity, what goes around, it comes back in and back out. That's the loop of the 8 of Swords. Now on the other end of the infinity symbol, we're able to tap into infinite abundance. And some of you may even see infinity symbols, or perhaps it's in your logo, or you see it on a billboard, or you have a tattoo of it. So pay attention, because that is an extra confirmation that this reading is connected to your energy in some way, that you are shifting how you view the material world, but you're shifting in your own strength, your own authority, your own power. And your confidence here to go after what it is that you want is finally within reach. You see on the 8 of Wands that there's someone doing a deep dive. It almost looks like she's diving off of a diving ramp, and she's going straight down, and she's reaching the key. Now, she doesn't have the key in her hand quite yet, but this is an energy of fast-paced manifestation. So it's as if the second you shift your mindset, you start to see your world in a different way. The second you start to release expectations, blame, comparison, all of those traps that bind us, that keep us limited. Like, why don't I have this? Or they have that. Why are they in a better position? Or we tend to do this subconsciously, even on social media, right? We look at other people's stories, other people's lives, and we unintentionally start to do that to our own lives. Like, wow, they have that, but yet I have this. And then we start feeling bad about ourselves, or we start feeling like we should be ahead of the game. And this is your journey and your journey alone. And your confidence is coming from the stories that you tell yourself. And for many of you, it means that you're cutting, right? Cutting through with that sword, taking that beautiful sword that you have. That is one of your gifts, and cutting through the fluff and saying, whoa, wait a second. Who am I? Who am I here? And why was I telling that story that I'm not good enough, that I'm an imposter, that I'll never get ahead, that I am whatever it may be? You fill in the blank, and you are turning it around. You are getting back into what I would say spiritual alignment after a period of turbulence. Something has shaken you, all right? And you now have this vision that is fast-paced, and some of you could even be relocating. There may be travel coming in, and you could be deciding while you are in the midst of travel, like, this is the type of life I want. Or you may have a manifestation happen quickly, and that inspires you. It gives you confidence. And something I like to do every now and again is the old, car trick. I don't do it often because I don't mind walking a little bit of distance, but I recall very early on working with the law of attraction and manifestation, where I would visualize an opening right at the front of the store, right? Right at the front of the store, let's say Walmart, for example. And I would pull in and I would say, okay, aisle 7, it's having a car back out. And I would see this before I would pull into the parking lot. And sure enough, almost every single time I would pull in and someone would be backing out and I'd slip right into that front row parking. And you can do this in your life when you utilize the power of your mind, right? That's what your mind starts to look for, is those openings. So when you are looking for the positive, when you are looking for supportive people and trust, when you are giving your mind reasons to look for that and find it in your world, that's what you start to pay attention to, right? If you tell your mind, I am going to focus on a green car, and you see every kind of green car. It's like if you go buy a new vehicle, let's say you buy a Chevy Silverado, and then you start seeing a bajillion Chevy Silverados on the highway. And so the power of the mind is so profound, and that is your gift in this lifetime. So not letting that sneaky little devil try to come up and derail you, Aquarius. So because you have the moon and the devil here, the moon is causing you at times to feel a little bit crazy. And it's interesting because I'm recording this on the full moon in Gemini. And I see that you are releasing a lot. You are bringing about subconscious energies. They're coming to the surface so you can release any of these repressed emotions. Now, Capricorn season may be strong for you as well. End of December into January 20th. You may feel tempted. You may feel tempted to fall into old patterns here. But what I am getting is the power of your mind, your thoughts, your intentions, your alignment is stronger than these fears. The devil is sneaky, right? Especially combined with the moon. This can be temptations. It can be fears. It can be attachments, addictions, but I have a feeling you're choosing not to give away your power. You're saying, wait a second, where have I been leaking my energy? Where have I been giving my power away? Once you know better, you do better. And once you have the information, the resources, the knowledge, you can turn that into wisdom by applying that to your life. Instead of just learning about something, you can take what you've learned and use it constructively in your life. And that's what I see you doing. There has been so many times that I have gone to a class with such inspiration coming out of it, feeling like, yes, I can't wait to use this in my everyday life. And I can't wait to take that and move forward with it. And then, then life happens and we don't do that, right? We can feel inspired, but then we don't take action on that inspiration. And that action piece is where it's at. And so that's what I see you doing, is choosing here, because the 7 of Cups is getting focused, right? That's where the 8 of Wands comes in. Let's build up confidence. You have the ability to do it. If you want to move, if you want to build that business, if you want to break out of a toxic cycle or a relationship, a pattern, a habit, if you want to quit smoking, if you want to quit drinking, if you want to get healthier, you name it, fill in the blank again, whatever it is that you want to break free from, you have the ability to do so. And the 7 of Cups is saying, choose wisely. Don't let the scattered energy of the devil try to come in and fill you with fantasy, fill you with these distractions, because it's time to get practical. And it's time to ask yourself some important questions. What will satisfy and fulfill me long term? Not just instant gratification, right? What is going to evaporate like a dream the morning after? Basically, the 7 of Cups is saying what is real and what is fantasy. And I see you're getting real, you're getting practical. And that's why the 5 of Pentacles is here, kind of challenging maybe a belief system around your stability or around your material resources or world, because that's where education comes in. You have the ability to learn, to grow, to evolve, and to teach. Bottom of the deck, we talked about this Queen of Swords. She is the queen of communication and independence, right? She's self-reliant. This is you. Confident with your own thoughts. And when we feel confident about our gifts, about the direction we want to go, when we feel confident in our choices, there's no stopping us. We don't have to let those distractions come in and throw us for a bit of a loop. And not that you're not going to feel distracted from time to time, but when you are set in your values or your beliefs and you're not going to let anything deter you from what it is that you want, that's a powerful position to be in, especially when you're aligned with your, when there's that spiritual alignment taking place for you, when you're aligned with your magic. So let's talk about career, finances, money, wealth, because we do have that 5 of Pence, and you may have felt closed off to the flow of abundance, or you may have felt like finances were difficult to maintain, and you may have even created a bit of a love-hate relationship at times. And there's the Watch again. Wow, some of you are in a waiting period of reevaluating and focusing on, is this new company going to come through? Or in your business, you're in a period of maybe integration, scalability, reconstructing. Divine timing, again, is taking place behind the scenes. I feel with this devil energy and Pisces, so we have Capricorn with the devil, we have Pisces showing up here with the moon. This tells me that between Cap season, so December and January through February and March, so let's just say between now and March, you have some really powerful energies unfolding here for you, where you are moving up out of this 5 of Pentacles. All right. And yes, there may still be a little bit of a waiting period, but use that mind constructively. Prepare yourself for the best possible outcome. Trust that you are moving into alignment with your highest good, that divine timing is working behind the scenes to bring something into fruition so you can profit, so you can benefit from your hard work, Aquarius. You have the Office coming through. Now, the Office is about delegating more, could help you increase your earnings. I am getting a focused energy here, like getting focused, because some of you feel like you're not fully able to focus on one task because that devil is a scattered energy. It can be procrastination. It could even be like ADHD or OCD or perfectionism, something with the mind that is causing you to feel like overwhelmed in some way. So you may be looking at maybe alternative ways to heal that, or to focus, or even taking a little bit of a step back and meditating for 10 minutes at the office, whatever you need to do to kind of pull back in that energy, working with the mind. And if you've had any sort of brain fog, or if you felt confused, of course, get that checked out, but it could be connected to the gut, okay? The solar plexus, gut health, a second brain. Now, you could be a secretary, an executive assistant, office manager, staff assistant, or any job working in an office, or even if you are a business owner, you could be getting administrative tasks done at this time, filing, reorganizing, looking at budgets or end of the year statements, things of that nature. Think of the greater good at this time. So this is about getting out of that small-minded energy of the 8 of Swords and expanding upon that. Right? Expanding, because sometimes we feel like life is suction cupped to our forehead and we can't see beyond it, right? We all get caught up in that loop from time to time, but I feel like the devil is here so you can see something and kind of shatter that illusion. The moon is here as well. So pay attention to the moon cycles, because some of you, there's going to be some powerful insights that come through from even your subconscious mind around the moon energy. So full moon and new moon. And maybe even working with doing some rituals around that moon. One thing that I like to do is I recharge my crystals, and I even in the summertime more so, I put out water, make moon water. I water my plants with that, even drink that water and soak up that full moon energy. I love to get out there, get barefoot. Right now it is cold in Wisconsin. I think I woke up this morning to -10, -20 degrees. So if you live in a warm climate, send that my way. Let me know in the comment section. Where is everybody from? I'd love to know. But we have the tree here. This is my tree of life. This is my 10 of Pentacles, and it's all about financial growth. something coming to fruition. I told you, Aquarius, don't give up on a dream of yours, and don't let that mind come in and steal all the attention, or I should say the devil. The devil can be like a virus in the mind, just like a virus in your computer can wreak havoc, and you try to open things and you got the beep, 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 do not enter, virus attacking, right? We can get viruses in our own mind. And maybe some of you, there could be like a viral overload going on in your body, maybe due to like autoimmune as well, maybe parasitic, bacterial. So of course, we won't go on that tangent, but get that checked out if that resonates with you. But I do see here financial growth, and don't let that mind deter you from the abundance that is your birthright. And I do see here perhaps outdoorsy energy or sunlight, getting that vitamin D, maybe even looking at taking supplements. I know here in the winter time, I don't get outside as much as I love to in the spring and in the fall and in the summer. So vitamin D supplements are important to me, and family business here could be coming through, or a sense of that stability, because family is connected to your key themes, to your purpose this month. And many of you want to live and lead a more abundant life for your family. You want to leave legacy. You want it to be stable instead of feeling like you are just working to survive, right? You want to thrive. And that's what the Tree of Life is all about, right? Being able to help other individuals because you have overcome some of your own biggest obstacles and challenges, especially around the mind. All right. So if you are looking for work, I do see keep your eye on the prize. There's some changes coming in for you, and try not to get discouraged if there's another rejection, or if there is, a period that feels very stressful financially or health-wise, because you are moving into a more confident period of your life, especially around your season as well, for those of you sun sign Aquarians out there. And again, that January, December through March is really activating your own wisdom. And I feel like there may even be a wheel of fortune thrown in there a little bit, because it feels like divine intervention for the better that's going to help you break through some of these cycles that have been ongoing. So let's look at love, family, partnerships, relationships. Your heart is still healing from a situation that you have gone through. Maybe it was hurtful words. It could be an argument, perhaps a breakup, a loss, or even a death. You have a beautiful heart, Aquarius, and I feel like you have gone through toxicity, right? That can be the devil, perhaps addictions, or someone around you has suffered heavily from mental confusion or addictions to numb what was really going on underneath the surface here. There may have been a lot of abuse. And I see, again, this is my Valentine's Day. So February, Pisces season feels very strong. Maybe Pisces season stands out for some of you as when an event took place, or that could be a month where love shows up for many of you. 2026, February, March, it feels very powerful when it comes to opening yourself up and spreading those beautiful wings of yours. You have the butterfly. This is evolving. It's growth. It's next level energy. Aquarius, you are hitting your stride here, but you had to do some inner healing, right? Especially around your inner child. And you've been working on releasing the past, and it hasn't always been easy, but you are moving forward one day at a time. I'm getting here AA as well, or NA. Maybe some of you have visited like Alcohol Anonymous, or is it like Narcotic Anonymous? I'm not sure. But it feels like you may have someone in treatment, or perhaps you yourself have went to some sort of treatment facility, or you may have even gone through a period where you had to step away from society or from the world, and you had to take a step back to really come back home to yourself and do some deep, profound healing. But 2026 is all about you spreading those beautiful wings of yours. You're no longer that caterpillar, nor are you no longer in that cocoon phase that feels icky, sticky, gooey, like you're about to die, right? But you're really about to be reborn. And I see that you are really evolving and growing in all of your relationships, which means if a red flag shows up or a trigger shows up, you're able to recognize it instead of getting lost in it, because that's what you've done in the past, right? It's been difficult to sometimes recognize those patterns, or you still had lessons to learn within them, hence the education, hence the knowledge, but it feels like it's different now. Why? Because something finally stuck. You know, when you read a book, I've done this a time or two where my mind is wandering and it's on other things, and I read the page over and over again, like 5 times. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to shut this book because I don't want to sit here on the same page. And I didn't soak in any of that information. I have no idea what's going on, but I must have read it. That's what lessons are like sometimes. Like we get back into that same relationship, or, you know, we continue doing the same thing over and over, and we're not fully soaking up the lesson. And that's where we just kind of have to put the book down and take a step back. It's that suction cup that's on our face sometimes, like a plunger. And you're like, wait a second, why is this on my face? I need to let something go down the drain here. And I see that you are coming into your own, and it feels soft in a way. It feels like you're being soft to yourself. There's a kindness. There's this nurturing energy that I'm picking up on. It almost feels like Mother God's arms wrapping around you. So perhaps some of you have had wounds around the mother, or perhaps how you have been mothered, or how you have parented others, or maybe how you've reparented yourself. And it just feels like this soft feminine energy. This could even be a loved one in spirit who is cradling you at this time. So when it comes to love as well, you have poker face, and this is about taking a risk. It is about options, which you have, and you have the aces. And for those of you poker players out there, pocket rockets, known as double aces, is one of the best hands that you can get when you're playing poker. And it gives you, you know, a high probability, but then you got to see the cards that you're dealt with, right? They're the cards that lay out for you. And it feels like this is your time to play your hand. So for example, in the past, it just felt like you kept folding. Like, I'm going to fold this hand. This isn't a good one, or I'm not going to play. You know, I'm going to sit out on this one here. I'm going to bench myself. I have, you know, it's not the time. It's not the time. Hence timing showing up repetitively in your cards. And I see here that now's the time. Like, you're in the game here. You've been dealt something really beautiful coming up, especially into the new year. Aces represent new beginnings, ones. I think this also coincides here with A of Aquarius, as you see. And it feels like you may even have 2 gifts, 2 opportunities, 2 blessings, 2 new offers coming in for you, Aquarius. And it feels very rich and rewarding. Now, you have the sacral chakra, which is all about sexuality here. And at least it is in this card. And this is about your womb space. Maybe that's that mother god cradling you in a way. And you may have even had issues in your sacral, which is about 2 inches below your navel, the woman's reproductive system. It can also be our sexual organs. It can reach back into the lower back region. Some of you may have had issues with, but the message for you is this. And I just heard the name Cassie or Cassandra. Okay, take that please as it resonates. I honor and respect my sexuality, and I allow the natural flow of my feelings. Oh, there's another message here around sexual orientation. May not have been accepted into the family, or someone had a different viewpoint about someone's sexuality that may have been very difficult or challenging. Maybe you or someone in the family. That just came through as well. I acknowledge that my sexual thoughts and feelings will arise, and I release unnecessary guilt regarding sex. I am open to the positive sensual feelings coming to me from others. At the same time, I keep my sexual activities well directed and in balance. Hello, devil. So the devil is controlling your desires rather than letting them control you. It's good, healthy, energetic boundaries. But I also feel like your sexual energy is awakening. And it's not just about sex. Although some of you, there could be this vulnerability, or there could be this healing, this deep healing. Maybe this space was was abused in some way or perhaps overused in some way. It feels like either a very depleted sacral energy or a very overactive sacral chakra. And you've done a lot of healing around this. And now you may be going through what I like to coin as, I mean, I didn't coin it, I didn't come up with it, but a Kundalini activation, a Kundalini experience. And for those of you that are not familiar with that, do a Google research and see if it resonates with you. But I'm also getting here working with maybe Kundalini yoga and doing some movements such as hula hooping. That's one of my favorites. Or even doing some breath work. I had one of the most profound Kundalini awakenings during a breath work session. And for many of you, this area has been squashed, right? You have felt maybe numb to relationships, sexuality, or creativity, which all sits in this center. And I see this waking up in 2026, and you're moving into more of this space where you're allowing life's pleasures to fill you up again. All right, to fill you up again instead of feeling like, where's the joy? And if you've had any cravings lately towards like chocolates or sweets, pay extra attention, because oftentimes I find that if I'm really craving sweets, I'm like, okay, wait a second, what's going on here? Where do I need a bit more sweetness in my life? So pay attention if that is you. Now, nothing wrong with a good bar of chocolate every now and again. I think chocolate can be very good for you, very healthy at times. So lastly here, you have the mask. So this is your archetype. Let's dive into this energy. One moment. Aquarius, this is the persona, the performance, the reveal. We often think of a mask as something that conceals our identity, yet contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. It allows, the mask gives voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. We just talked about that, right? Whether you've benched yourself or you felt like you've been benched, right? Folding your hands in the game because you felt like, well, this isn't my right hand, or this isn't going to play out. I'm just going to fold. I'm not going to play this one. This is your time. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. You are in the realm of theater, so anything is possible. Speak with the other's voice. Embody the other's limbs. You are taking part in the ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception around, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. Okay, sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme or poem. It's likely you've become so attached to a single mask. There's that plunger, suction cup to our face, right? It's likely that we've become so attached to a single mask that you need to fall face forward into this perception bending time. Wow, I love that. Perception bending time. There's the word time again. Ooh, we can't make that up. Perception bending time. Trust it. Trust in this free fall. And what happens when we have something suction cupped to our face and we're falling? We try to reach on to the first thing we can grab, but Spirit is saying trust. This is going to be one of the best falls you ever did have in your life, because it's going to shift you into a reality, maybe out of some sort of darkness. Because you see here on this illustration that on one side there's darkness. And by the looks of it, the moon, the devil, the Eight of Swords, there's been some virus activity going on in that mind that's been taking over, which can cause one to live and lead from that shadow. Not you, not anymore. Let's try on a new mask here, a new role. I believe we have many different roles here on earth, and we get into character. Right? We get into character, but after that role is done, we get out of character and we get out of the costume. We wash the makeup off, but then we prepare for our next role. So whatever is happening, don't ever forget your true self, but you're getting into character and stepping into something new in your world. When this is showing up as the light, which I feel like that's what December, January through March is all about for you is opening up to that light. It reveals what has been suppressed. And you have the word repressed or repression showing up with the devil. And the moon is things that are hidden, right? And so it's being revealed to you right now. And when it's showing up as the dark, which it is, right? It further conceals what is rejected. As the Zen koan suggests, meditate on your original face, the one that you had before your mother and father were born. Think of a mask or a costume. I love this question. And for those of you that would like to participate in the free reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop your answer in the comment section below. I'll enter you into the giveaway. Make sure to hit that subscribe and bell button. I post in the community tab each month, so check it out. Think of a mask or a costume you wore that felt empowering, that felt marvelous or fun. Who was it that you were being? Is that who's still within you? You know, is that who still within you? So who was it? Okay, so your costume or a mask, maybe this was something you wore as a child. Maybe it's something that you wore as an adult. You know, I remember as a child, I was a witch. Year after year after year. I loved being a witch and also a black cat and Catwoman. Like those are the two costumes that I've wore repetitively, even in my adult life. And I've always loved that energy of feline or Catwoman. And then of course the witchy vibes. But I have loved playing in different characters. And I see here that many of you also may remember if you've ever dressed up, right? You remember a costume or even maybe a mask that you've worn. Maybe this is one of those half masks, like you go to a gala or you go to some sort of event where you're wearing one of those, I forget what they're called, but like the half mask with feathers on it. Those are kind of neat too. But who were you? Drop it in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please, Aquarius, give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find that in the description box below or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com. Aquarius, you guys are awesome. Know the power of your mind. You have some really beautiful shifts coming in, and let me know how this reading resonates with you. Lots of love.